Hello, VBS kids. It's Lisa here, Pastor Manuel's wife, also cook on Wednesday nights with Karla Berry. She's another cook on Wednesday nights. Maybe you've seen us. I'm also married to Pastor Manuel. He's behind the camera. You can't see him. But so tonight you guys are going to cook dinner with your grown-ups for everyone in your house. It's going to be really fun. We thought we'd do a dinner and a movie pairing. Now my suggestion is you can watch whatever you want to watch, or you can watch nothing, or you can do it however you want. But the way I would do it, I would make all this and watch Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which is what we're making, meatballs, sauce, and pasta. We're not making the pasta, but you'll get the idea. So it's a good movie pairing with the menu. It'll be really fun, and I think you'll have a good time. And then you'll know how to do something. So when you want to make dinner for your family, you can just go to this recipe. So let me talk about, you each have a box kit. This is the Zimmerle's box. Sarah Zimmerle, Maggie Zimmerle. Maggie, for the Zimmerle's, they're gluten-free. So they have gluten-free pasta, they have gluten-free bread, and nothing else in here has gluten. So if any of you have a dietary restriction, we have accommodated that, and your box is ready for what you need. So we're going to go over really quick what's in your boxes. So we have, what you're going to be doing is mixing the ground beef with your container that says wet ingredients for meatballs. And you also have dry ingredients for meatballs. You are going to mix, and I'll show you how to do this because I'm going to do it. Mix all of these three things together in the bowl, but not yet. We also have beans, garbanzo beans and kidney beans in a dressing, which if you'll recall on Wednesday nights, this is what Karla is going to make, is the salad that we have on Wednesday nights. So your parents will like that. I want you to have 3 bites, okay? Just 3 bites. 1 bite, it takes more than 1 bite to know if you like something.
So holy trinity of bites.
Yeah, holy trinity of bites. Good, well put. Okay, so Karla is going to start with the chopping. So Karla, do you want to go ahead and start, and I'll talk about what you're doing?
Okay.
So we have romaine here. Romaine is, she has to chop it lengthwise, the long way, and then she's also, when she does these long cuts, then when she slices it the other way, she will automatically have bite-sized pieces. So this is a really smart way. Now, we are not doing this for all of you. We are only doing this for the Zimmerle's, because I know Sarah Zimmerle doesn't want to do this, so she's helping me out. So we're helping each other out.
Right.
So anyway, Karla is chopping romaine. Look, she's already done.
Watch your fingers.
Yes. Now, we could talk about proper knife technique right now while Karla is doing this. I call it the old lady claw. You want to look at my hands? When you chop, yeah, show her, you curl your knuckles back so the knife blade is touching your knuckle.
Otherwise, you would go like that.
And chop off your fingers. Don't do that. So use your knuckles as a guide. It feels weird at first, but you'll get used to it. So anyway, she's chopped the lettuce. Your lettuce is not chopped. You're going to have to do this. So please remember to wash your lettuce. And
even you won't be wearing gloves like I am, so make sure you wash your hands.
Right.
before.
So that's a good point to bring up, that we are food surgeons. We are food scientists. Even you, everyone is. So we have to have impeccably clean hands. That means every time you do something other than what you're doing. So if Karla were to stop and touch her hair or touch her face or pick up a toy or yell at her brother, even yelling at her brother and not touching anything, I want you to go wash your hands. Whatever it is, wash your hands. Especially in today's environment, good hand washing is just a good thing to know. Now, if you'll notice, Karla is chopping everything really small. And you notice the beans are small-ish. We want everything to be a uniform size. Uniform meaning very similar size. So this piece of broccoli that's big, Karla's going to cut that in strips. Don't throw that away. That has great nutrient in it. So, and it tastes really good. So she's going to chop that lengthwise, and then just like we did the lettuce, and then turn it and chop it into uniform pieces that are the same size of the beans. Again, we are doing this for Sarah Zimmerle. The rest of you are going to chop your own vegetables. So Karla is doing a good job. Next, we're going to have her go to the cucumber. So this is a Persian cucumber. This is a Persian cucumber. So see, she's cutting off the ends, and then she's going to cut it in half, then cut it in strips, and then cut those strips into quarters. So that way, again, uniform pieces. And she's going to, now when you're at home doing this, you're going to take this bean salad, put it in a bowl, and as you're chopping the rinsed vegetables in uniform pieces, you're going to be adding it to the dressing and the beans. And then as you're going, kind of stir it. We want all the vegetables to flavor the dressing and the dressing to flavor the vegetables. That's called a marinade. So that's essentially what she's doing. She's going to move on now to the tomato. Now, a lot of people have issues with tomatoes. Even Pastor Manuel has a tomato phobia. He cannot eat tomatoes. And what I've discovered, his issue with tomatoes is if it's too squishy, he doesn't like that, and he doesn't like the seeds. So like, if you guys have been to the taco shop and you have pico de gallo, that's raw tomato. I don't know if you realize that. When you have that salsa, you are eating raw tomato. So
Do you want me to seed it?
Yeah, she's going to seed it.
This might not be easy to do for...
Yeah, if you just want to lay it on the cutting board and not do it on your hand, there you go.
Okay.
And so what you're going to do is cut out the seed. Just, yeah, there you go. There you go.
Here, show me.
So a way that I would do it is just kind of cut it out.
Like a bell pepper.
Yep, like a bell pepper. You're cutting the seeds out because that's a part that, if people don't like tomatoes, it's that part. And if you get a firm tomato, which I made sure we did, then Karla's going to cut that in strips. And then those strips, just like everything else, is going to be cut into uniform small pieces and go into, it's going to be a bowl for you with the tomato, with the beans already in it. So then Karla's going to move on to the carrot. Now the carrot, I don't recommend washing or peeling carrots. I recommend washing it. I don't recommend peeling it. There's a lot of nutrient in the carrot that you need, and it's good for you. There's no reason to get rid of the skin. But do what you want to do. Talk it over with your grown-ups. So do you see what Karla's doing? She cut it in half to make it more, easier to maneuver, and then she's cutting each piece into kind of like planks. We call those, the culinary term for that is batons. And she's cutting this into a 1/4-inch dice, which is if you were working in a restaurant and you were a prep cook and your boss said, I need a 1/4-inch dice of mirepoix. That is 1/4 inches of celery, carrots, and onions. But anyway, that's what she's doing. She's going to cut through all these vegetables, and while she's doing that, and you've got the idea how that works, Pastor Manuel is going to zoom over here, and I'm going to show you how to do the meatballs. All right, so let me just talk about ground beef for a second. So ground beef, this is from Windmill Farms where I work. They have a butcher shop, and in that butcher shop, they grind their own beef. They don't get ground beef sent from somewhere else. So there's not a risk of E. coli. So wherever you go grocery shopping, ask them if they get their ground beef previously ground, or do they grind it themselves. It's just a little bit safer if they grind it themselves. So I'm going to add the wet ingredients, which is buttermilk and an egg. And the dry ingredients, we've got Italian flat leaf parsley, gluten-free breadcrumbs, dried basil, dried oregano, garlic, salt, pepper, and Parmesan. Now there's, again, if you have a dietary restriction, you can't have dairy, your box is different. These are the boxes that have everything else. So, when we're making meatballs, this is not Play-Doh, okay? We don't want to work it to death because we'll get tough meatballs. We want to get it barely mixed and then stop. Resist the temptation to make a snowman or whatever it is you want to make. Do that with Play-Doh, not with this. Now you're going to decide what size meatball you like. That's up to you. If it's bigger, it's going to take longer to cook. I like about, what is that?
Golf ball.
Is that a golf ball?
A little larger than golf ball.
Walnut, a walnut size. I like that. Yeah, walnut ping pong ball, something like that. So they don't all have to be exactly the same, but uniform again would be nice. That way they cook all at the same time. Now, why did we put an egg in this? Why did we put buttermilk? And why did we put breadcrumbs? There's a reason for each. So the buttermilk has acid in it, and it's a tenderizer. So if you were to overmix, the buttermilk would help keep your meatballs tender. Why did we put breadcrumbs? It helps to dry it up because you've got, it's kind of wet. And why did we do, an egg? So an egg is liquid protein. When protein gets heated up, it constricts and binds everything together. So it turns into like glue that you can't see. So anyway, you see I'm turning all of these into meatballs. And what we're going to do in a minute, we're going to go over to the stove and brown these. And you want to make sure, like the pan I picked here at church, they don't have a lot of smaller pans, but I picked a pan that would be kind of similar to what you would use at home. And you're going to get whatever your favorite cooking oil is. I'm going to use olive oil. I'm going to brown these, not cook them all the way through, but brown them. And then turn down the heat and pour the sauce into the pan. You're going to bring the heat up again, bring it to a boil, then reduce it to a simmer and put the lid on and let it cook for about 30 minutes, okay? Let me clean up a little bit here. Okay, and we'll go over here, turn on the heat. And this is where you'll need grown-up help.
Because you're playing with fire.
Playing with fire, you don't want to get burned. And I'm sure, you can still help out, especially if the fire is low and you're being safe, which I'm sure you will be. And remember, I have gloves. And I don't know if you do at home, maybe you do. If you do, you can use them, but you can still cross-contaminate. Let's say you're wearing gloves, you go from meatballs to chopping raw vegetables. That's not a good idea. Because whoever eats it is going to have raw meat on their salad. Not good. We're going to let it sit a little bit. Now you can use tongs. Now this is a non-stick skillet. So I have to use plastic or wood. I can't use metal, otherwise I'll scratch the skillet. So basically from here, you brown it however much you want. You could get a little bit of brown, on a couple sides, or you could brown it all over. For me, I would just brown it on a couple of sides. Pour the sauce on, bring it up to high, get it boiling, put the lid on, reduce it to simmer, and then let it go for about 15-20 minutes. And then while that's happening, you should have your water boiling for your pasta. Have your water boiling for your pasta, and then cook your pasta. And then for your bread, on Wednesday nights, we slice all the bread, and we drizzle olive oil. We pour olive oil in a little bowl and drizzle with like a little teaspoon. So it's about a teaspoon of olive oil on each slice of bread with some kosher salt and black pepper in like a 400-degree oven for a couple minutes. You can do that, or you can make whatever bread you want. It's completely up to you because you're the chef. So anyway, that's everything. We hope you have a really wonderful dinner. We love you all. Hugs, fist bump, high five. Have a great dinner. Bye.
Bye. Have fun.